Democracy is often praised as humanity's greatest invention, the system where every voice matters, every vote counts, and tyranny stays in the shadows. But what if the story we've been sold is only half true? What if modern democracy has quietly transformed into something far more profitable? Not a public institution, but a full-scale industry. An industry with clients, with marketing campaigns, with investors, and with profit margins that grow every election cycle. Because in today's world, democracy doesn't just operate like a business, it is one. The idea of democracy reaches back to ancient Athens, a rough, exclusive, face-to-face experiment where citizens debated in person, without ad agencies, spin doctors, or billion-dollar donors. But as populations expanded, the system changed. Representation replaced direct rule. And wherever representation appears, influence becomes something you can buy. By the 1800s, running a campaign already required serious money, but the real transformation came in the 20th century, when mass media collided with mass politics. The moment radio and TV entered the arena, elections began to resemble marketing battles. Look at the 1960 Kennedy-Nixon debate, the first time a presidential debate was televised. Radio listeners thought Nixon won. TV viewers overwhelmingly chose Kennedy. Why? Because appearance and image suddenly mattered as much as, if not more than, policies. It was the birth of political branding. From that point on, campaigns became sales operations, and the costs skyrocketed. In 1960, a U.S. presidential race cost around $8 million. By 2020, over $14 billion. And those billions didn't fund civic virtue. They paid for ads, data analytics, media exposure, psychological targeting, the tools used to sell political products. The voters became customers, the donors became the shareholders, and the government. It became the prize. This isn't just an American phenomenon. Around the globe, the political industry is booming. In the UK, Thatcher-era strategists borrowed advertising tactics straight from corporate marketing. In India, parties deploy data firms that micro-slice the electorate like an online store categorizing shoppers. In Brazil, WhatsApp groups have become political ecosystems, fertile ground for targeted influence. Everywhere you look, the logic is the same. If you want votes, you buy attention. If you want power, you buy influence. And the more money you have, the louder your voice becomes. Lobbying is the clearest example. A multi-billion-dollar global industry whose entire purpose is simple: turn financial power into political outcomes. In the U.S. alone, lobbying costs more than $4 billion a year, more than the GDP of some nations. And in many countries, the line between influence and bribery is thinner than a sheet of paper. Today, political language has merged with commercial language. Parties talk about branding. Politicians strategize around market segments. Analysts measure conversion rates. Even policy choices are tested like consumer products. Should a government push a reform now or later? The answer depends less on need and more on polling data. The public will become a curated product, a message optimized for maximum emotional response. And this corporate logic reshapes the financial system itself. Because when politics is an industry, economic decisions start serving investors, not citizens. If the biggest campaign donors come from Wall Street, tough financial regulation becomes less likely. If the energy sector funds your rise to power, climate policy mysteriously slows. To the public, these look like ideological fights. To those funding the game, they are investment strategies. This creates a strange paradox. The political machine becomes incredibly durable, as long as it remains profitable. Elections continue, media shows run, consultants get paid. But the system becomes fragile too. Because trust is optional. Outrage, fear, and polarization produce even better engagement, and therefore higher profits. Big tech supercharge this. In the 20th century, political messaging was broadcast. In the 21st, it's individually engineered. Millions of customized political messages delivered directly to your screen, optimized to your emotions. Democracy's business model merged with the attention economy. And here's the part most people miss. The elites funding this system don't actually need a healthy democracy. They only need something that looks enough like democracy to keep voters participating. If trust declines, the messaging shifts. If turnout drops, the narrative adjusts. The product is rebranded. As long as returns stay high, the machine keeps running. But this has consequences. Because when ordinary people are treated not as citizens but as customers, or worse, raw material, their influence shrinks. Your data, your emotions, your vote become inputs in a larger market cycle. History shows what happens when this imbalance becomes too extreme, when power becomes too profitable, when institutions stop serving the governed. Systems crack, sometimes slowly, through rising apathy, sometimes explosively, through revolutions. From ancient Rome to Weimar Germany, the pattern is unmistakable. That's why you must start reading politics the way you'd read a financial chart. Every policy, every slogan, every sudden shift in public narrative is part of a larger investment strategy. Ask yourself, who is funding this message? Who benefits financially? What's the return on investment? If the answers make you uncomfortable, don't look away. Learn the game. Track the incentives. Support transparency. Because understanding the industry of democracy is the first step toward reclaiming power within it. And the next time someone says democracy is in danger, remember this. The real question isn't whether democracy is failing. It's whether the business behind democracy is still profitable, and for whom. If this perspective opened your eyes, make sure to subscribe. History doesn't repeat, it reveals. And I'll show you what comes next. Please subscribe and support me to keep this kind of content coming. Goodbye.